Personally, I don't think I've ever felt like I've been used by the university, but superstars. When it turns into big money, big business, and advertisers, and alumni, things happen, and it can be turned into some misconduct, and when the media is involved, um, it can turn into inappropriate actions on behalf of the university and alumni.
I agree. Do you feel that the compensation attempt by the universities, such as paid tuition, meal plans, free gear, and other privileges given to you, make up for not being paid?
Again, that's something that's changed over the times. 30 years ago, hell, getting free gear is all it took.
Yeah.
You know, but over the years, and as the NCAA has evolved, it's become big money. Pair of free tennis shoes, free cleats, sweatshirts, and hats and stuff just doesn't come close to putting $1,000 in a kid's hand and putting it in his pocket. There's just no comparison. But you know, that's just what happens when corporate sponsors. I mean, it's NCAA has basically been about making money, and that's kind of the sad thing of where college athletics has gone to.
So if they start paying athletes, do you think that money will corrupt the college sports and the athletes and just the whole general area?
I think it will probably minimize the corruption. There will always be some corruption, maybe on a lower scale, but it falls back on the integrity of what the university, the integrity of the coaches. It's not you can't pin that type stuff on a player who's you're talking about a young teenage kid. He's being when you got grown adults coming out there and handing $100 bills at the end of a ball game or $1,000 at the end of a ball game. I mean, when money's involved, there's corruption, and I don't think that's something that will ever go away. I mean, it's gonna always be there as long as there's big money involved.
Yep. Do you think it's unfair that colleges all over the U.S. are bringing in so much money off the backs of these athletes, and everyone around them, such as the coaches, being paid, but they barely receive any straightforward payment?
I think
it's kind of the general conclusion of the whole thing. So, just any other thoughts you have on it?
I think it's very unfair. The athlete is again, is a young kid. You got coaches making between $5 to $10 million in these major universities, and he's being successful off the backs of young kids and their successes. It's unfortunate, but it's the brunt of the.
Just like about how unfair it is, I guess, that the coaches that are around them, athletic directors.
Universities make a ton of money off of kids. Kids going to have to be compensated in order to thwart some of the the improprieties and the corruption. Because the universities are making a large amount of money. The kids should be paid a minimum. Like again, it's a full-time job, but I think unless they come up with a compromise, then there's always going to be some guys out there sharking, and they will always continue to shark, and they're sharking off the successes of these young kids. If they're not being paid, and they should be paid because their livelihoods at stake every single day, and one small injury can take it all away, and then their future is going to be gone. But these coaches, they're not out there
For the
any
safety.
blood, sweat, or tears. You know, it's all out there on based off of the successes of the recruiting, off of these young kids, and again, the success of the kids is gonna, of course, dictate the money that's being made by the universities, the coaches, and the local community.
Sure.
So, you know, I think that over the past 30 years, it's the magnitude of the money being made is just gone crazy, and unless they come to a compromise that these young kids are just they're kind of being used as mules for other successes, and so they should be compensated, and I think it would probably help out in a lot of different areas as far as again, the improprieties of what goes on in college athletics.
Sure. All right. Well, thank you for your time.
All right, man. Probably need to delete out